Hey, over here. Hey, it's great to see you again. Is everything okay on your end? With just everything in general? You doing okay? Oh, sweet. That's really awesome to hear. Okay, well, it's great to see you and to be hanging out again. I got a bunch of ideas where we could go. If you want, we could hit up that milkshake shop down there and get a frosty drink. I know it's pretty frosty today. It's quite cold. Maybe we could go for a hot drink. Maybe a coffee shop instead. Anything. I'm up for absolutely anything that you want, of course. Up to you. Yeah, sure, why not? I'm happy with that. If you want, it was a bit of a walk to get here, so do you want to just take a quick breather together here? I actually had a few ideas to share with you because you know that it's Halloween coming up, of course, which is a very cool season. So I was wondering if maybe you might be free on Halloween, maybe for some multiplayer games. You don't have to, of course. I'm sure you're busy enough, and I'm sure that whole fiasco recently was frightening enough with the whole, the factory thing and me breaking you out. I'm sure that must have been really overwhelming. I'm really sorry that happened. I'm glad I've helped, and you don't have to do all this. If you don't want to, if you got plans, I understand. Oh, great. Yeah, that is great to hear. Thank you. Well, I actually got a few ideas if you want to hear them. What we could play. Halloween-related games, right? Something to kind of scare us a bit. Do you want to hear a list of ideas that I've compiled in the old brain box? Oh, of course. Okay, so, first off, easy choice, gotta be Dead by Daylight. I love that one. It's, you know the one, I'm sure you've heard of it. The one where you're kind of running around repairing generators as survivors, and, you like to kind of sneak around, avoid the killer. There's that one killer who's sneaking around as well, and kind of pounce on people to attack them with their abilities, like throwing hatchets or placing little bear traps around or little gadgets to kind of track people and, stuff like that. But of course, the survivors, they have their skills as well. I kind of like Dwight. He's a teamster kind of player, so it's like, getting around and fixing stuff. And Michaela's having the little totems to heal people and kind of buff them up. Really like using those. Who else do I like playing? I mean, sometimes I like playing as the killers. I'm quite fond of the Wraith because he has this little bell. And he goes bing bong and then goes bzzz, hides around and kind of sneaks upon them while turning invisible. Then, bing bongs again to become visible and just whoosh, whack them, knock those survivors down. It's, I gotta admit, it is quite frightening. I admit I sometimes scream when I'm surprised, so, of course, we don't have to play that one, but it would be pretty cool. It gives that kind of, an adrenaline rush, yeah. It gives like a kind of an adrenaline rush and a huge dose of serotonin when you work together and you finally escape and overcome the odds. I'm pretty fond of those kind of rushes of joy after all those rushes of fear. it just feels uplifting. It feels like a really, really kind of potent kick in the butt, I guess. So yeah, there's that one. You don't have to have the DLCs, of course, especially if you're new to the game. But I mean, I've got like most of them myself. I'm thinking about getting a few of the other ones. I don't know. I might not. At least they've thrown in some of the other kind of, iconic horror characters and other kind of franchises doing crossovers and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot of variety on offer, even if you're not familiar with certain franchises. It doesn't really matter because they've worked in, their own kind of original stuff. That's how it started off. So, yeah, if you're up for that, we could be fixing generators together, healing each other, disarming traps, fiddle-diddling with the totems, and using power stuff. Sorry, I'm making it sound weird. I apologize. So, yeah, there's that. There's that. What else? Well, if you're into, like, old school shooters, like boomer shooters, as they're called, ones for the 90s, we could play Blood Fresh Supply. That's an old school kind of a cult classic first-person shooter, but a very popular one in the boomer shooter fan base, I guess you could call them. When you play as this kind of a gruffed kind of a cowboy guy, undead. He's just come back from the dead to get revenge on a god. He was part of a cult. Now the cult kind of banished him. He's going to kill their god and kill whoever gets in their way. And it's all like, there's like these crazy cultists. They're really accurate. They're really accurate, and some of them throw bombs, so it is pretty tricky. But there's also like zombies, and there's what else? Gargoyles, giant spiders, hellhounds. It's kind of quite macabre. It kind of embraces horror tropes and has a lot of dark humor as well, like cheesy one-liners and references to old movies and books and other stuff like that. So, so really awesome kind of like maze-like, you could say, level design. Not like Wolfenstein when you're literally walking around a maze. I mean, you got to explore the areas to track down the keys, and it takes you in weird places like my favorite level is the Carnival, and you can do like some of the games to unlock, not unlock, but kind of get little goodies when you destroy bottles or play football with zombie heads. You can actually play football with zombie heads. It's so cool. Sorry. I'll calm down now. So could play that on co-op together, team up, fight all the bad guys, or play in the multiplayer mode if you ever want to go one-on-one together, fight each other. I'm quite good with the dual shotguns. When I get the dual weapon power-ups and I get the double barrel shotgun, I'm pretty good at the game, I'll admit. I mean, I hope I'm not getting on your nerves by bragging, of course, but I'm quite good with those, and quite good with the TNT bombs. It requires a lot of practice, but this game has a lot of explosions, a lot of bombs and explosive weapons and alternate fires that cause explosions and all sorts of just cool stuff like that. So yeah, if you like 90s shooters and in cool little package with all the HD updates and better controls and stuff like that, maybe we could play Blood Fresh Supply co-op or deathmatch, your choice. But that's just another idea. Also, another kind of game comes to mind, Zombie Army Trilogy, the sniper game, but with zombies, as the title obviously suggests. Again, that has co-op. You can also do, I think, competitive co-op, where you try and fight for the best scores, but it's still co-op, of course. And there's a survival mode, which is very cool as well. So yeah, you're kind of just going through 1945 Germany, and you're sniping zombies from afar, and of course, it kind of the shots are affected by gravity, so you kind of plug zombie heads from afar with bullets like, and make zombie heads splatter and stuff, but also there's stuff where a lot of zombies appear and you gotta deploy bombs and traps and stuff like that, and you gotta do all sorts. It's kind of one of those kind of linear kind of games. You gotta go from point A to point B, and there's scripted events along the way, alongside tougher, much meatier zombies that you gotta aim for the heads for, or deploy traps, or blow up, basically. But it's a very cool co-op zombie game nonetheless. I think that would be really good if you're the kind of person who loves being precise, being a bit more sneaky with kind of getting surprise shots and then letting all hell break loose. You can, get that adrenaline rush from fighting off the hordes of zombies, and but of course that might be a little bit of an unsure choice if you're a bit of a stickler with aiming, or you're not a fan of racking up combos, because if you miss too many shots, you lose combos and stuff like that. I think it's been a while since I played it. I might be a little incorrect with a few details here and there. I apologize for that. But still, really cool atmosphere and great levels as well. Just kind of mindless fun, but still requires a fair bit of skill to take down the zombie hordes en masse. And again, the survival mode is very cool as well, because you can fiddle around with the settings and, you just end up making things really challenging if you really wanted to. I bet that would be really cool, though, being able to fight all those evil zombies from the Third Reich and splatter them into bits from afar with sniper rifles, and then, switch to the machine guns and pistols, and then just go all out up front in close range and kind of crazy stuff like that. And it's got bonus characters from Left 4 Dead 2, which funnily enough, sorry, I'm rambling. I'm rambling again. I hope I'm not getting on your nerves. I still got a few more ideas, but I don't want to, be annoying or rub you the wrong way, anything like that. I can continue, but only if you're okay with that. I'm not putting you on the spot to listen to me ramble on. I just want to... Oh, right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, sorry, thank you for the reassurance there. Yeah, I'll continue. So, there's also Left 4 Dead 2. I was gonna say, they're kind of characters from the second game and the first game appear in, Zombie Army Trilogy, but we could also just play Left 4 Dead 2 itself, since with that game they put in the content from the first game into the second game as well, along with bonus levels like expansion pack stuff, and also even community levels, community created kind of levels and stuff like that. That one is still a horror game in a sense. It's a bit more kind of let's say up-tempo, to use a musical term. It's not quite as slow-paced. It's a bit more fast-paced, because a lot of running zombies, and there's the special infected, like the charger that charges at you with a boomer that splatters bile and attracts the smaller zombies to kind of maul you. The little jockeys that kind of grab onto you and scrape your face, and it's very, very co-op centric. It's very much a matter of working together in order to take on the zombies. And again, linear, go from point A to point B in each level, but really fun though, exceptionally fun. I've sank in so many hours into that one, and it never gets old, seriously doesn't. And there's a lot of other kind of game modes as well. We could go on the co-op, typical co-op campaign, play online. We could play versus, where we can jump between the survivors and the special infected and try and stop the enemy team. I think we could do that, but then again, it might be a little bit of a daunting task if you've never played it before. But there's still, things like survival mode, if you ever want to kind of just see how long we can last in certain levels and like throw all these traps around and keep fighting off the waves after waves of bad guys, all these crazy zombies overwhelming the players and stuff. Again, really exciting, especially when you get just bit by bit closer to getting that almighty gold medal on certain survival levels. Very tough, of course, very tough, but very rewarding if you know how to play cooperatively. And it's just, it's got great writing, great soundtrack, great set pieces, a lot of weapons to choose from. It's just great. It's like one of those 10 out of 10 games, I gotta admit. Really loved Left 4 Dead 2, and I strongly think that you'd love that too, if we played together, of course, but no pressure. No pressure. There was another one called The Typing of the Dead Overkill. It's a bit crude with its humor. I mean, it's very crude with the humor. It parodies, what the British call it, video nasties, kind of grindhouse movies, low-budget kind of blaxploitation films. Amazing soundtrack, seriously underrated soundtrack. Pretty funny, though, if you don't mind the kind of crude humor. But, yeah, so there's two versions that you get in the game. You can either play it like a rail shooter, House of the Dead Overkill, I think it's called the Extended Cut. And you can play with another player online. Just use the mouse to shoot the mutants. They're zombies, but there's a little joke in the game where they call them mutants. Racking up combos, and you're going through like a haunted mansion with a lab underneath, and then there's like the train level, meatpacking plant, all sorts. Pretty short game, admittedly, but really fun to play on co-op, I'm sure. And again, that has like, what's the word? Kind of, competitive, that's it. Competitive features, so, battle for the best score. Whole bunch of weapons you can choose from too, so we can like switch between those and start blasting bad guys and then the big zombie bosses on each stage. Or alternatively, there's also the typing of the dead, where it's pretty much the same, but instead of shooting enemies, you have to type words on your screen in order to defeat the zombies that way. If you keep missing typing the words, then, you miss your shots and ruin your combos, and you'll get mauled by zombies. Really cool kind of little twist there. They did that back in the 90s with the second game, but they kind of brought it back for modern players back in, it was 2015 or something. The detail's not important. The main thing is, it's a cool little spin-off. Definitely recommend that. We could play that, of course, could. And anyway, I'll wrap things up now if you want, because I've only got one more idea, but only if you want to hear it. It's up to you. I'd like to hear, is it okay if I share this one last Halloween game idea that we could play together? Only if you're cool with it. Only if you're cool with me talking a little bit more about it. It's up to you. It's up to you. Go ahead. No pressure. No pressure. Okay, I'll shut up now. Sorry. Go ahead. Shut up, Dub. Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, okay. Okay is what I meant to say. I will tell you. We could play Lethal Company. A game where you have to kind of work together with other players, arrive on other planets, different kind of planets, and walk into these empty factories. At least they seem empty. There's bridgeways where you could fall and die. There's wildlife that could kill you if you wait around too long or if you're messing around. But inside, lots of loot and mostly just scrap metal, toys, kind of seemingly weird stuff like that. But if you carry it back to your ship and get money that way and escape, then great, you can hit those quotas. Of course, I tell you, the monsters in those buildings are really scary, I gotta admit. I mean, I don't have arachnophobia, but they've got some big spiders. And then also, there's the slimes, the pointy guy that rushes after you if you look at him too long. and then he snaps your neck and then drags the body away. I know it sounds gruesome, but it's really kind of comedic. There's no blood or anything. I don't know if you played it or not, but really kind of scary like that still. And then in the later levels, then there's like the giant nutcrackers that blast you if you're moving around. There's the indestructible imposters who look just like the players. You gotta stay away from them. There's little kind of man-eater baby bugs, and you can carry it around with you and like carry it like a baby and shake it around to cheer it up a bit, but then it like mutates into a gigantic monster and mauls you. Oh man, I remember doing that, and like I was just screamed right afterwards when it mutated. It's so frightening, but when you watch these kind of clips online, it is pretty funny in retrospect, at least. In retrospect. But yeah, definitely a co-op-centric game where you definitely have to work together. More fun with a lot of friends, so if you got any other friends, up to 4 in total is what we need for one server, so you just need to invite 2 more people, or I can invite 2 people. I don't know. But, yeah, there's a lot to kind of learn in that kind of game, but the overall gameplay grind is otherwise pretty simple. Just, explore places, grab items, and escape, make money, rinse and repeat on each of the levels, really. Again, really fun though, exceptionally fun, and I bet that would knock the socks off of either of us on a Halloween, especially, late at night, and then all of a sudden we see one of these creatures, or a thumping from a gigantic nutcracker, or just some big scary kind of freakazoid, or that coil head thing that's like, running right after you if you've got your back turned, but then you turn around and it stops. It's so scary. But in a good way, yeah. That's, those are my ideas. Sorry, I kind of pooped myself out with that. How's it sound? How did they sound? Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed listening to me ramble about them. I just remembered, I gotta bin something. Tell you what, I'll quickly just go over there to bin that thing. You can wait here for now if you'd like, just for a moment, of course. And then when I come back, then maybe we could, go on for that walk and get some drinks, if you're cool with hanging out some more. Hopefully, if that's okay. Hope you don't mind just waiting out right outside this cathedral. It's a really pretty cathedral. I just thought it'd be a change of pace to meet up here. We could maybe explore the interior, then go for drinks. I just gotta bend this stuff in my pocket. If that's okay with you, yeah, like we planned. Oh, sure. Yeah, of course. Okay, well, I'll be back in just a moment, and you hang tight. And don't worry about paying to get inside the cathedral. If we gotta pay, I'll cover it. My treat. Same with the drinks. My treat, I'll pay. So, yeah. Okay, then, well, I'll be back in a moment, so don't go anywhere. Please. I'm really looking forward to hopefully playing on Halloween together. That's gonna be great. Yeah, okay, I'll go bin this stuff now. Back soon.